Thanks a lot for joining this webinar. I'm very excited to talk to you today and to present you our latest version, Acumatica 4.11. The objectives of this meeting today is to provide you an overview of the new features that we have in this release, as well as discuss the benefits of these features. My goal today is not to train you on these new features. For that, we're going to have a spring training event in April. But I want to give you a solid overview as well as demo some of the features of this new version. So when we set out to build version 4.11, we decided on 4 major themes that are central to this new version. The first one, and this is probably where we spend the most time, is the quality and reliability of the product. So we've improved the test coverage, and we made a big effort on bug fixing. There were many old outstanding issues that were still present in the product that we fixed for this release. And this is not something that you will see immediately when you use the product, but this will have a big impact on the experience that you and your customer have when using the software. Second theme is the improved usability. We had many features in the product that were somewhat difficult to set up and use. I'm thinking about the discounts, the packaging system, the project accounting billing rules, and contracts. So these features were updated, improved, and in some cases completely redesigned to make them easier to use and more powerful at the same time. Next area is the documentation. So if you look at the product today with version 4.10, we have many holes in the training material. So some areas and some features are not documented at all. And what happens is that many times for basic questions, partners are not able to give an answer. And they need to open a support case to get help. And the result is that, this overload supports, your implementations take longer than they should, and ultimately this impacts your ability as a partner to sell and implement more deals per year. On top of our focus on quality, usability, and improved documentation, we added over 14 new features in the product that I'm going to demonstrate and review today. I'm talking about new features, but these are mostly incremental improvements to existing features. The focus of this release is, once again, quality, reliability, improved usability, and extended documentation. But still, you will see that these features really improve the experience when working with the product. So today, I will divide my presentation into main sections. The first one is the ERP product. We'll first start with financials and distribution. We'll then go to CRM, projects, and finally, contracts. Next section of the presentation will be the platform, general improvements that we made to the platform. So things like improved performance of inquiry screen, simplified configuration of import scenarios, as well as a reworked column selector that you will see in every grid in the product. If you have any questions at the end of my presentation, I will be taking questions, and it will be my pleasure to answer you. As well, I will provide you with my contact information, so anybody that wants to contact me after my presentation and has specific questions, I will be more than happy to help you. So let's start with financials and distribution. First enhancement is the customer statement. We've added the ability to regenerate a single customer statement without the need to regenerate all the statements in the statement cycle. So today it is not very convenient if you need to refresh a customer statement. You need to go through many different steps, and it is not very intuitive for the end user. We've also added the ability to print the current statement directly from the customer menus. So it is very quick and easy when you want to get a customer statement. So I'm going to demonstrate this feature right now. I'm going to go to customers, first customer. So from the reports menu, we now have this customer statement option. As well, the regenerate option that I talk about is accessible from the actions menu. So let's say that I want to view the current statement for this customer. One click and it's done, displayed on screen. Simple improvement, but it will make your life easier. Second area is balance and credit write-offs. So today you have the ability to do balance and credit write-offs from the system, either from the payment screen or by using a processing screen that we have called write-off balances and credits. The amounts are posted into a single GL account. This GL account is configured in the customer class and applies to every single write-off that you do in the system. This is not very convenient because you have many different reasons for doing a credit write-off. And the only way today to account for these different reasons is to go to the customer menus and change the configuration of the customer. So this is not very convenient. What we did is use a feature that we already have in the system called reason codes. So reason code allows you to define different reasons, as the name implies, and set different GL account and sub-account posting rules. When you do your balance write-off, you just need to select the appropriate reason, and the system will properly account this write-off in the right GL account and sub-account configuration. Next area is integrated credit card processing. This is a feature that we have today, but that we improve in order to meet the PCI compliance requirements. So today, when you want to process credit cards with Acumatica, you need to store the credit card number and expiration date in the database. This information is encrypted, but still it transits in memory, and it makes the application vulnerable to hackers. And the way it is done today is not PCI compliant, which is not acceptable for multiple customers. So we now support a new credit card processing mode called tokenized mode. All the information that is sensitive, such as credit card number, CVV code, expiration date, never touches the server. It goes directly through the web browser and is stored on the authorized.net server only. So the only information that is stored inside Acumatica is a string of numbers that is completely meaningless and useless to hackers. So this makes the application far less vulnerable, and it facilitates the PCI compliance requirements. So I'm going to demonstrate that to you right now. So I'm going to open a customer. One second. There you go. So I'm going to add a new credit card number for this customer. So this window that opens here is not hosted by your Acumatica application server. This is a form that is coming from the authorized.net server. So all the information that I enter here will never touch our Acumatica server and will be stored in a secure manner on the authorized.net servers. So I'm going to fill out my credit card information. And guys, don't use this credit card. It is a fake one, so don't try to purchase anything with it. Save. So what I get back is this payment profile ID. This payment profile ID contains no sensitive information. So this is the only information that will be stored in your Acumatica database. And whenever you want to process a payment using the integrated credit card processing, this is this payment profile ID that will be used for processing the credit card transaction. So only information that is visible is the last 4 digits of the credit card number. Packaging, boxing, and rates calculation. So this is related to the carrier integration that we have. So within the product, we have a feature that allows you to automatically calculate the rates as well as print labels for carriers such as FedEx, UPS, and the U.S. Postal Service. So right now, this feature is a little difficult to set up, and as well, depending on the complexity of your orders, it can have a significant impact on the performance of the sales order entry screen. We changed the way the packages are calculated. So now it happens only when you save the document or try to shop for it. So the performance overhead is far lower than before. As well, we added some new packaging options. So the packaging is are the algorithms that the application uses to decide which type of boxes are needed and how many boxes you need to ship an order. So we now have the ability to calculate the packages by volume. So today we have by quantity, by weight options, and volume is a third option that was added. As well, since we realize that every business is unique and different, and that some companies may have vastly different requirements in terms of packaging, we made the packaging rules extensible and customizable. So partners can go and set up a totally different way of optimizing and calculating the packaging in the system. Also on our focus on usability, we made this automated packaging option a feature that can be enabled and disabled. So if you only want to use carrier integration to print your labels and don't want the system to calculate the packages automatically, you can just decide to leave this feature disabled. And as a result, the user interface will be streamlined and it will be easier to use. Last thing on the carrier integration is the ability to set carrier account numbers right from the customer management. So this is a very nice improvement. Today, the only way to do it is by going to the carrier configuration screen in the system. And from this screen, you see all the different customers and accounts. So it is not very convenient. And as well, in terms of user access rights, it is a problem because you may only want to allow users to use specific customer accounts, and from the old screen it was totally not possible. So going to show you this small enhancement. It is very simple and very convenient as well. From the customer maintenance, under the delivery settings tab, I have a new grid here called carrier account. So let's say this customer wants me to charge the freight to his USPS carrier account. I just enter the carrier account number there. And that's it. I'm done. So right from the customer maintenance, very easy, small improvement, but it will make a big difference for anyone using the carrier integration. Customer discounts engine. This is a very big improvement, and it impacts not just the discount, but as well the pricing engine in the system. And I will get to pricing engine later, but first, let's talk about the discounts. So right now, today, if you want to use discount calculation in Acumatica, you need to buy and activate the distribution module. We removed that requirement. So you may now use discount codes from the AR module. We've also made it far easier to use and configure. We've improved the performance, especially if you're working with very large orders in the system. And we've added some new options that improve the flexibility in the type of discounts that you can configure with this system. So I won't get into the finer detail, but I will, highlight some of the changes that we made that I think are very, very interesting. So first of all, by default, the system will now pick the best available line and document discounts. Previously, you had to go to sales order preferences and set a complex discount sequence and chaining configuration. So many times customers would forget to go there, and they would then wonder why their discounts are not calculated. So now, as soon as you've created a discount code and enabled it, The system will consider it when you add a new sales order, and the system will pick the best available one. We've also added the ability to create discount codes that apply to a specific warehouse or specific branch. So we already have many different options. Today you can create discounts for a specific customer, a specific item, a specific price class, and many different combinations. So having the ability to do discounts by warehouse and branch is yet another option that we're added for more simplicity. We enhanced the prorate discount option so that it also works with dollar discounts. So for example, if you have promotions like get $5 off every time you buy 10 units, so this type of discounts can now be configured more easily. Previously, you would have had to basically create a line for all the different combinations. So 10 units, $5, 20 units, $10, and so on. So it's much simpler to do it this way. Finally, the system now allows you to configure a discount percentage limit for your document discounts. So this is very convenient because you may decide to set up a temporary promotion and give a special discount on a product, but the customer may also already benefit from other document-wide discounts. So if you want to avoid scenario where customer is getting like 90% discount on some products, you can just configure this warning, and the system will warn you when you create an order if you exceed the limit. So I'm going to demo 2 or 3 enhancements that we did to discounts. The first one is the prorate option that I talked about regarding the get $5 off every time you buy 10 units. So I'm going to go to the sales order module. I'm sorry, 1 second. Okay. So item CPU. So my base price is $50. I'm going to order 1 unit. As you can see, price is still $50, but I'm going to change it to 10 units. And I'll have $100 discount. So this discount kicked in when I reach sufficient quantity. So if I change this to 20 units instead, my discount amount will increase to $200. I've already configured some document-wide discounts for this customer, and as you can see, I'm exceeding the limit. So the system is showing an exclamation mark at the left of the discount details tab. So 1 second, I lost my mouse. Okay, there you go. So total group discount exceeds limit configured for this customer class. So this is a warning that this is a setting that you configure at the customer class level. So I'm going to show you where it is exactly. So customer class. So this is where you set the limit here for a customer class. So you decide which percentage limit you want. Other option I would like to demonstrate is the ability to define discounts that are manual. So let's say you have coupons and you want a promotion to be given to your customer only when it is requested. You may define discounts in the system, discount codes in the system that will need to be manually selected. So in the example I gave right now, my discount was added automatically, and as you can see, I have a discount code that was selected there. But if I make this discount code manual, the system will not automatically select it, and I will need to select it. So the customer comes or customer orders and says, okay, I have a coupon code for a specific promotion. Please add it to my order. The system will only calculate it at this point. So to show you how this works, I will remove this discount from my order. We'll go to the discount code configuration, and I will check the manual checkbox here in the discount code configuration. Go back to my sales order. So I will add the same item once again. set quantity to 10. And as you can see, I have no discounts, no discount percent, no discount amount. But from the discount code column, I can select my promo discount, and right away the system will recalculate the pricing. So you can apply this and have multiple different discount codes, both at the line level and at the document level. You just need to check the manual checkbox from the discount codes setup screen. Otherwise, the system will always pick the best available discount for this line automatically. Customer pricing engine. Again, this is tightly related to the discounts engine. We made a lot of changes and improvements. So same as with the discounts, you may now set up different prices for items without the need to activate the distribution module. Previously, if you wanted to have promotional pricing or special customer pricing for items, you needed to create special discount sequences. It was very difficult to use, and user interface was very cumbersome. So we removed that functionality and instead added a new customer-specific pricing section that is accessible from the AR module as well as from the stock and non-stock item menus. So this is far easier to use and as well more powerful than before, as you will see later. I will demonstrate this as well. One thing to know is if you're using this flat price discounts today in Acumatica, when you upgrade to version 4.11, all your prices will be kept and converted to use this new customer pricing engine. Another feature that we added is the ability to do quantity-based pricing, or what is also called matrix pricing. So let's say you have a different price if you buy 3 units, another price if you buy 5 units. This is something that you can configure with this new system. Another nice feature that we added is a new wizard, which allows you to quickly create a different price list, either for a group of customers or a specific customer. This one I will show you as well in just a minute. Finally, the latest enhancement I would like to highlight is the ability to recalculate prices and discounts in a sales order. So sometimes you will prepare this large sales order and then you realize that discounts or prices were not set properly. Right now in Acumatica 4.10, there is no way to recalculate the order. You need to recreate it completely. So from the actions menu, we added a new option which will allow you to recalculate either a single line, the selected line, or the complete sales order. So this is very convenient as well. So I'm going to show you how you can configure customer-specific prices as well as use the matrix pricing. So I'm going to go into customer prices. I'm going to select my customer. And since this is Valentine's Day, I will give a special price for a box of chocolates. So I've already configured a different price for 5 units or more, but I'm going to add another line. So again, this is for this customer only, but I could also have used the sales prices screen, which can apply to a group of customers. So you can have price lists or price levels. So 10 units, I will put $10. And since this is a promotional pricing, I will leave this available until the end of the month only. So let's save that. Then I'm going to go to sales order, take the same one, so chocolate. So what's the unit price here? So $15 is the default price. I will order 5 units. You will see the price go down to $13. If I change it to 10, the price will go down to $10. So you can configure as many price breaks and combinations as you want. You can make the prices time limited, so only for a specific period, or you can just set this as the default prices for this customer or this item. Another thing I mentioned earlier is the fact that all the prices can now be configured from the stock item and the non-stock items menus. So previously, from this screen, the only thing you were able to set was the base price. You needed to go to a different screen to set up the other sales prices. So we've added 2 new tabs here, sales prices, which are like the base as well as all the different price levels, and customer prices, which allows you to set up customer specific prices. So the prices which we set earlier in the customer prices screen are also displayed here. So let's say that I wanted to set a different price for another customer, I could do it from this screen. And it's really easy as well because it allows you to quickly view all the prices available for a specific item. Okay. Next feature related to prices that I would like to demonstrate is the new wizard to copy and update prices. So let's say that I have a special agreement with a customer where I'm giving him 5% off every single item in my system. And I want to create a price list that I will be able to print or update later on. So I will use the copy prices action from the sales prices screen, and I will select process all. So the first question that system asks me is, where do I want to copy the prices? I can copy it to another price class. So a price class will apply to more than one customer or to a specific customer, which I'm going to do right now. And now I have options to update the price. So I mentioned I want to take 5% off, so 95% of the current price. I could also copy the prices to a different, for prices in a different currency if I want to, but in this case, we have the same currency for this customer. And finally, the system lets me decide the date at which this price will become effective. So you could also use this to create a temporary promotion. Let's say you wanted to have a 50% off a list of items for a specific period. So you could use this as well to just change the price for a specific period. Let's say having this until the end of February. So once I click finish, the new prices will be created. So that's for prices. And I think that somebody asked me a question. I will answer the questions at the end of my presentation. Thanks for your understanding. Non-stock kits. So today we have the ability in the product to create groups of items that are exploded into separate lines when you create the shipment. In the current version, it is only possible to include stock items. In this new version, we added the ability to include non-stock items as well. So this can be used for a few different uses. First one is to create a product and service bundle. So let's say you're selling a computer and you're including installation and configuration. So you could have a non-stock item as part of this bundle. Next one is the ability to do nested kits. So include a kit into another kit. So this can make maintenance of complex kits and far easier. So you can include a kit in another kit. So last thing I would like to mention on the financial and distribution side is the new feature switches. So the feature switches is something that was introduced in version 4.10, which allows you to decide exactly which features in the product you will use. So when you disable a feature, you have less settings or configuration options to set up in the product. So the user interface is less cluttered, and you only see the screens and features you really need in your database. So we've extended that and added a few more feature switches that you can enable or disable based on your needs. So for instance, it is now possible to disable the warehouse locations feature. So you may have multiple warehouses, but still inside these warehouses, you may not need to track separate locations. So if you do not enable this feature, the system will not prompt you to select a location every time you do a receipt, a shipment, or configure an item. Same for warehouses. We have many customers that only have a single warehouse. So even if you only set up one warehouse today in Acumatica, you still need to select it whenever you create a shipment, and you have this warehouse ID column everywhere in the system. So if you only have one warehouse, just don't enable this feature, and the user interface will be far easier to use. So we did the same for automated packaging that I described earlier for the unit of measures configuration that you have an item. So if you only sell and purchase your products in a single unit of measure and never convert between different unit of measures, then you can decide not to enable this feature. So same for blanket purchase orders, drop shipments, certification module. And this is something that we're going to extend in the future. We aim to make the product easier to configure, simpler to use. So feature switches is a good way to do this. So it's a way to make the application easier to use. So I'm going to show you quickly what happens when you try to use a system and warehouses are not enabled. So I will go in the inventory receipt system. So this company doesn't use multiple warehouses. So I'm going to do a receipt of, you guessed it, chocolate once again, 10 units. As you can see, no warehouses, no location column. So very simple. And for all companies out there that only have one warehouse and do not need to track locations, this is far more convenient to use. Same thing again if I go to sales order and try to create a shipment. So right now in the product, if you create a shipment, you would be prompted to select the warehouse from where the goods will be shipping from. As you can see, no warehouse, much more simple. I really like this feature, and I hope you will like it as much as I do. So that's for the feature switches. Perfect. Back to my presentation. CRM. So CRM is another area that has seen multiple improvements in the system. First of all, we changed the way you assign and update leads, business accounts, opportunities, and contacts in the system. We created separate processing screens. So this allows you to schedule this assignment process. Previously, we had a single screen with multiple settings and options that was a little bit difficult to use. So it is far simpler and cleaner to use. As well, I really encourage you to go try the new update screens, which allow you to quickly update multiple leads or contacts or accounts in the system. So it's a really simple way to make mass updates in the system. We've also changed the way you convert your leads into business accounts and contacts. We've added specific actions that are accessible from the leads menu. So instead of this really complex wizard we had before, we now have very, very simple actions that allow you to do the conversion. Finally, we added a new screen called Purge Leads and Contacts, which allow you to easily delete leads and contacts that have not been converted into customers or that haven't seen any activity in number of months. So when you get to this screen, the system asks you what you want to do and which leads should be purged. So in the example that you see right now on the screen, everything that is older than 2 months would be deleted. So when you do this cleanup, it reduces the clutter in your database and it simplifies maintenance afterward because you only keep the contacts and leads that are interesting and still active. Another enhancement that we made to the CRM module is with the activity types. So we have this activity system in many different screens in the system. Previously, the list of activity types was hard-coded. So if you wanted to define other type of activities, you needed to customize the system. So we made that a configuration screen that allows you to configure as many activity types as you want. As well as you will see, we added two new columns to this activity type stream called incoming and outgoing. So this allows you to track which activities were initiated by your employees and which activities were initiated by your customer or vendor. So this allows you to quickly know when was, for example, when was the last inbound or last outbound activity for a contact or account. Right now, there are not, I don't think that there are any reports or screens showing this last inbound or outbound activity, but this is something that we're looking at extending in the future. And the first step for us was to add these checkboxes as well as this screen to configure the different activity types in the system. Multi-select attributes. This one is very simple improvement, but I really like it. We added a new UI or user interface control in the application called the drop-down checklist. So drop-down checklist allows you to select one or more values from a list. In the example that you see right now on the screen, two values were selected. So it is for an insurance company. So we selected collision and liability, and all the selected values will appear in the attribute. So previously, the only way to handle a scenario like this one was to have separate attributes, which was not very convenient. So with this new drop-down checklist, you can have as many values as you want, and they will all be displayed in a single line. As well, this new UI control can be used by our ISVs and partners doing custom solutions with Acumatica, so they can also embed this UI control in their own solutions. So I'm going to show you how this works by going to the lead screen. So I changed the type of this attribute to allow multiple values to be selected. So I can select network solution, network infrastructure, software solution, integrated, and they all appear in the attributes tab. So very simple, but very useful improvement for anyone working with attributes in projects, in CRM, in the cases system, with actually everywhere you have attributes, this can be used in the system. Now to projects. So as anyone work with this screen, we have introduced project accounting in version 3 of Acumatica. And the way to configure allocation and billing rules is a little bit cumbersome, in my opinion, right now. We have this screen that contains one very large grid with 24 columns, which is really not user-friendly. So we've completely redesigned the user interface of the allocation and billing rule screen, and let me show you the result. Much cleaner, as you can see. So at the left, we have one grid listing all the allocation steps, and at the right, you view all the configuration options for the currently selected allocation step. So it is much more visual, easier to use, and it is still as powerful as before. So it's the same underlying engine. We just changed the way it is presented to the user. Next enhancement we made with allocation and billing rules is actually splitting the allocation from the billing rules. So we realized that most customers will only have one or maybe just a few billing rules, but they would have multiple allocation rules. So previously you would need to duplicate your bidding rule in every single allocation rule that you were creating. So by having separate screens, you can reuse the same bidding rule for multiple different projects, yet still have different allocation rules depending on the project. The way rates are calculated for a project was also improved. You may now configure different rate tables, allowing you to have different rate calculation based on the project or project task. Rate sequences can now be split into different rate codes, allowing you to have different rates based on the project, the task, the employee, account group, or item combination. So this is the result of feedback that we received at the Partner Summit last August. Some of these changes are already visible in the currently released version 4.10, but they were not officially announced, and we are officially announcing these enhancements as part of version 4.11. So it really makes configuration of the lookup rules for rates much more powerful, and there is less duplication of your rate tables needed than before. Finally, I have a bunch of other improvements to let you know about in the project accounting module. So we added a non-billable checkbox to AP bills, quick checks, and cash transactions to allow you to identify transactions that should be accounted in the project but not charged to the end customer. Earning type and overtime multipliers that can be selected on activities and time cards is now saved with the project transaction, which allows you to use these fields as part of the formulas that you can create. When entering expense claims, the sales and expense sub-account can now be combined from the project and project task. So previously, there was no way for you to change the sub-account based on the currently selected project or project task. So now this is something that is possible. We've also added the ability to build project on demand. Previously, we had a very rigid schedule of monthly, weekly, or quarterly billing. So with the on-demand option, you have the ability to run the project billing as often as you want. We have added the ability to post employee time cards to an off-balance account group. So this can be very useful if you're only using time cards to account for expenses in your project accounting, but are actually using an external payroll processing service to do your actual accounting for your employee-related expenses. Another option is the custom week settings. So you may now define 1 or 2 cutoff dates as part of your time cards. So you can align time card reporting with your internal billing and revenue cutoff dates. Last improvement is with approval. So we've added the ability to create approval maps and link that to your project. So it is the same approval system that we have in the product, but it is now possible to do this configuration for project as well. So I will give you an example of this approval map. So I've created a very simple approval map. So I want my CEO to approve projects when the industry attribute is telecommunications. Otherwise, projects can be started without any specific approval. So I've created one simple project to show exactly what will happen if I try to make this project active. So right now, my project is on hold, so no approval is needed yet. The industry is telecommunications, and as I showed you, I want my CEO to approve these projects. So as soon as I uncheck all, my project will go to approval. So pending approval. And from the approval tab, I can see that the CEO needs to approve it. I will cancel this and change the project instead to be in a different industry. So healthcare, I save. And now, since I have no approval rules for projects in this industry, the project will become active right away without any approval. So as you can see, status is now active and no approval was needed. So with approvals, you have a lot of flexibility. You can set rules that will verify any field on the project. You can have multiple people requiring approval depending on all the rules. So it's the same system that we have elsewhere in the product, but simply extended to work with projects as well. Contracts. So this is another big improvement over what we had in the previous version. Again, like with projects, some of these enhancements are already part of version 4.10, but the documentation was not up to date, and we made a few more enhancements to it in version 4.11. So I'm only going to highlight what I consider to be the key features, but just so you know, like compared to version 4.0, this was totally redesigned. We have a completely new contract system, which is far more powerful than before. So finally, we have good and complete documentation on the contracts, and I highly encourage you to check out this feature because I personally feel that this is a very nice feature in the product that can really benefit you as a partner. So in my previous life before joining Acumatica, I was actually a VAR and I was using this feature. This is the first feature I actually implemented in Acumatica almost 4 years ago. So we were using contract management to bill our customers. We had a yearly recurring fee to our customers, and that's what we were charging per activity. So per case, depending on the duration, the system would prepare an invoice and we would have different rates based on the customer and so on. So this is something that you can set up with contract management. So back to the enhancements. You can now have a distinct setup and activation date in your contract. So you can create your bill right away, but still only have your contract become active at a later time. We have added the ability to create retainer agreements. So to give you an example of this, you may decide to charge $10,000 upfront, so as you enable your contract, and then use this $10,000 for cases or activities that will be related to this contract. So the system will use the retainer amount, and once it gets to zero, then you have the ability to create a new contract or upgrade the existing contract to charge an extra amount. Contracts may now be billed to a third-party account or a parent account. So an example of that is the relationship that Acumatica has with its customers and partners. So we set up contracts with the actual end user, but we bill you as a partner. So we're using this feature to handle the renewals. We've added the ability to do contract upgrades. This is not something that was possible previously. So now you can upgrade a contract at any time, and the system will calculate the upgrade fee, and optionally it will prorate this fee based on the remaining number of days in the contract. We've added the ability to undo the last action. So this is very useful because sometimes you will do your contract billing and then you realize that something was not set up properly. So after you undo, you have the ability to make changes to the contract configuration and redo the billing. And what is nice is that the system will keep full history of all the actions that we've performed inside the contract. Finally, last thing I would like to highlight is the on-demand billing option. So it is similar to the enhancement that we made for project accounting. So instead of a fixed schedule for contract bidding, you may now do bidding on demand if you decide to do so. Also related to contract is the labor class assignment, which is the way that the system calculates the rate to charge based on the activity that was the activities that occurred for this contract. So we added a new screen called earning types maintenance, which allow you to define different codes and associate a multiplier to this. So you could decide to charge 1.5 times the regular rate if you're overtime, and you will configure this through the earning types screen. So during the contract billing, the system will map the earning type of an activity to contract items according to the configuration you set in the case class and employee maintenance. So this allows you to charge different rates on the contract based on the employee, the type of case, or when this activity was made. So very flexible ways to configure your contracts. So to give you an example of how this was working previously, in version 4.0, if you wanted to charge a different rate based on the case class, so let's say that you provide consulting services and programming services to customers, and that you want to charge a different rate, well, before version 4.11, you would have needed to create two different contracts. So now, by using the different case classes and earning types, you can have a very flexible configuration of the rates that will be charged for the contract. So as I mentioned in my introduction, making the product easier to use and support is one of the key themes of this 4.11 release. So one area which I suspect many of you are already familiar with is the import scenarios and integration services. So it is kind of like black magic today. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You don't really know why. It's very difficult to set up in many cases, and it's easy to make mistakes. So we added a simplified configuration mode for import scenarios. It is really, really easy to use, and I will show you in a few minutes. Basically, you just create a new scenario, and the system will generate the mapping based on the file that you upload. Previously, you needed to set comments, so you needed to have the save comment at the end. This is no longer needed. The system will generate a comment automatically for you. As well, we added the ability to map primary keys, like the unique key that the system uses to locate a record in Acumatica. We now give you the ability to map this to a different key in a different system. So if you want to do something like synchronization with an external system, such as Salesforce, for example, which is a good example, well, Salesforce will store the information in a different way, may use a different ID or key field for the system. So by using this new synchronization system, you can have both the external key and the internal key that Acumatica used map and synchronize together. So as you will see in my demo, it is far easier to set up the import scenario, and the only thing you need to focus on is your file and not the actual mapping. It is very, very easy to set up. So what I will do right now is set up a new import scenario to add a list of leads to my system. So from the import by scenario screen, I will click the add button. I will select my file. I'll click upload. So screen name, where do I want to import this information? I want to import this in the leads screen. And I click OK. That's it. My provider and my scenario is almost done. So the only thing that I need to do is select where the information will be saved. So the system pre-populated the list of fields based on the Excel file that that I selected. I did not need to create a data provider, set up the worksheet, the fields, and then go to a different screen, set up my mapping. This all happens from a single screen, import by scenario. So all I need to do is configure where the information will be stored. So I can show you the completed result. So this is my lead import process. So I will do prepare, and I see my prepared data. So I would be all set, and all I need to do at this point is click import, and I'm done. So this is a very simple example. I know that partners are working with import scenarios which are far more complex. For example, importing sales order or purchase orders. But this can be used for any screen for which we support importing today. So behind the scenes, the system will still create the data provider and still create all the import scenarios with comments. But it is handled for you transparently. You only need to focus on your source columns and the target object. Another nice enhancement that we made is in regards to attributes. So this is something very common when you will be importing leads, customers, or data in any screen that support the attributes. So previously it was a little bit difficult to do this mapping. You needed to have two different lines in your import scenario. But now with this new version, the attributes will appear as any other field in the system. So I could select my attribute section, and I will see the field as any other field in the system. So maintenance mode, we added the ability to schedule a maintenance in the system. So from this screen, you decide a date and time at which the system will become unavailable for users. So system allows you to enter a message, and this message will be displayed to your users when they try to log into the system. Only administrators will be allowed to log in during the maintenance period. And once it is completed, all you need to do is go back to the update screen and click the button to say that the maintenance period is completed. Trial and test companies. So in version 4.10, we added licensing. So now we validate that the database only contains the number of companies that are allowed based on your license. So, for example, the based Acumatica edition will allow you to have 3 companies. Many times, customers want to have a copy of their production data to do training or testing. As well, it is quite useful to have the sample company that is shipped with the product installed in the system. So obviously, you do not want these companies to be counted, because otherwise they would limit your ability to create other companies in the system. So from the company maintenance, you can change any company to a test company. So be advised, like this operation cannot be reverted. So you do it and it's final. When you're working inside a test company, there will be a banner at the bottom of the screen, as well as in every email that you will be sending with the system, that will mention that this is a trial company and that access is limited. So this can be very useful if you want to train your employees to use Acumatica, and as well if you want to try new features that you are not licensed for. So when you work with a trial company, you have access to every single feature. They are all enabled, even if you do not hold a license for this specific feature. Other improvements that were done. So if you use customization, from the help menu, we will now show you the CST prefix to indicate that a page has been customized. Next enhancement, I really like this one. It is the browser URL. So the URL is the link that you have at the top of your browser window. So now this link is updated with the actual record that you are looking for. So if you want to give a link to another employee inside your company in an email or a Skype chat, you just go to the browser title bar and copy paste this thing, and this thing will get the user directly to this record. The last improvement is the grid column selector. So right now we have this long list of visible columns that allow you to select the visible columns in a grid. So it works fine if you only have a few columns, but in more complex screens like sales order entry, it is very cumbersome to use and decide which columns are visible in the grid. So I'm going to show you this feature. So I will go to sales order screen, and I will select a specific sales order. So let's say that I wanted to have my friend Charlie go to Acumatica and validate something on this sales order. All I need to do is go to my browser URL, do copy, and then I can go to my Skype window and say, hey, Charlie, can you check this order, and paste. So if Charlie follows this link, we will get to the exact sales order. Previously, it would only get to the sales order screen because the link did not include information on the currently selected record. So the column selector that I talk about, this one, I'm going to show you again. This one is accessible from the top left section of the grid, right above the grid lines. So when I click on it, I get this screen, which shows me all the available columns that are not currently visible, as well as all the selected columns that I currently see. So I can change columns to appear in a different order. I can add columns to my grid, and I can also save this configuration. So let's say that I want this configuration to become permanent. So when I log off and log back into Acumatica, I want to view my columns exactly the way they are right now. I can click save. As well, if I made a few mistakes and I want to reset everything, I can click reset to default, and my columns will be reset to the way it was previously. So very simple enhancement, but very convenient when you want to change the presentation of your grid columns. So back to my presentation. Okay, technical infrastructure. So under the hood, we made many enhancements to improve the performance and scalability of Acumatica. So I will try to describe this as in a simple way so that non-technical people can understand. But do not hesitate if there's anything there that is not clear. If you have any questions on these changes, I will be glad to answer your questions at the end of my presentation. So we now allow session state to be stored out of process. So what does this mean? Take, for example, Google today. When you go to google.com and search something, as you can imagine, there is not a single computer processing your search, because there can be, at a single time, there can be millions of users doing a Google search. So behind the scenes, Google will do what is called load balancing. So they will send you to a different server based on the current usage level. So maybe Google has 5,000 search servers, and they send each user to a different server to ensure that performance stays the same for everyone. So before in Acumatica, it was not possible to store this session information on multiple servers. So let's say that you wanted to do load balancing the same way that Google do it. You would not be able to gracefully or transparently switch between servers, between requests. So with this new enhancement, you can enhance the scalability and reliability of Acumatica. So even though you may not see the need for thousands of users on multiple different servers, it can still be useful to have a failover server that will gracefully become online if your primary Acumatica server has any problem or goes down. So by having the session information stored outside the server, the other server will be able to go online, and your user will be able to continue working as if nothing had happened. So the same with Google today. You do a search and you don't really know what's happening behind the scenes, but it just works. And this is the same with session state. Again, like on scalability, the system will now clear the memory cache automatically when you close a browser window. So if you open a very large report, this may increase the memory footprint on the server. So now when you close the report preview window or any Acumatica window, this memory will be freed right away on the server. We have also lifted the 127 company limit that we had previously in a single database. So with this enhancement, you may now support more concurrent users and more companies on the same server and application instance. Also, related to this ability to scale on multiple servers, we added a new option that allows you to automatically publish customizations to all the instances that are connected to a single database. So instead of having to go through every single Acumatica server instance that you have, the system will automatically publish the customizations when they become available. So it can really make management of large Acumatica deployments easy. Last two enhancements are related to inquiry screens. So anyone working with custom inquiries as well as inquiries using multiple attributes fields, I'm talking about the configurable attributes that I discussed earlier. So anyone using these inquiries will see a big performance boost in version 4.11. So first of all, the system will now only load the columns that are visible in the screen. So if you're working with the tables like the customer table, which has probably close to 100 fields, but only display 4 fields: customer name, address, phone number, and email. So we will only load these columns from the database, so it is much faster. Also, previously attributes were fetched through subqueries, and these subqueries really impacted performance if you add many visible attributes. So I know that we have a customer that has 40 or 50 different attributes configured for their leads and contacts. So in this case, you will see a huge performance boost when using the inquiries in the system. Reporting and dashboard. So this will be very short. We made a few enhancements to the report designer. First one is the ability to embed QR codes in the reports. Today we already have barcodes, so we can create UPC codes, code 128, and all like the various standard barcode types. But we've also enhanced this to allow the QR code, so the two-dimensional barcodes. So what can you do with this? I will give you a few ideas of what you could achieve with the QR codes in your custom reports. So in some countries, there is a requirement to have a standardized payment slip at the bottom of every invoice. And this payment slip needs to include a barcode, and this barcode includes information on the bill, where it needs to be paid, what is the amount, the date at which it is due. So this is part of an ISO standard called 20022. So I invite you to read it if you're interested in this thing, but just keep in mind that you can create this QR code and put any value you want inside it. Another interesting use of the QR code could also be to include a link to the actual record from Acumatica. So if you remember earlier, I gave you a demonstration where I was doing a copy of the current URL and pasting that to one of my colleagues in Skype. You could also do the same and embed this URL inside the QR code. So let's say that you are printing customer statements. And in the customer statement, you add this QR code that is actually a link to the customer screen or the payment screen with information for this specific customer. So it can really make accessing information in Acumatica faster. So I'm sure people will find novel and interesting ways to use a QR code. So play with it. It is in the report designer, and it is easy to use. It works the same way as the barcode in the system. Other areas that I would like to mention is the dashboard charts. So we have a feature with the dashboard called the stack charts. So today, this is not really a useful feature because it is very limited. But I can say that with this new version that you may now use stack charts for useful and meaningful things. So we've also extended the dashboards to allow you to sort charts by value or by category. So let's say that you want to list customers with the highest balance first in your dashboard. This is something that you can now do. Or like as usual, you can sort by customer name. So you now have this configuration option when you create your dashboard widgets. So you see a dashboard in my PowerPoint slide. This is an example listing all the leads I have in my system, and they are grouped by status. So in this example, the light green line is the closed leads, and I have open leads and or other lead categories in this chart. So you can analyze more than two values at the same time on the same chart. And as usual, dashboards can be used for, I would say, almost every, if not every, inquiry scheme in the system. You may create a dashboard chart and configure it to display values and totals the way you like. Last area I would like to discuss is customization. We made an enhancement to the code browser database. So this is a feature that allows you to search and look into the Acumatica business logic source code. So today, the system will only list you information for the main data access classes and business logic containers. But now we've enhanced it to also search through every single attribute, basically everything inside px.objects.dl can now be searched. As well, if you click on the hyperlink that you have in the search results, the system will display you the full source code of this file. So it allows you to understand how a particular feature is implemented without having to do reverse engineering or disassembly. And for anybody doing customization or custom solutions with Acumatica, it is really useful because it will allow you to do customizations far more easily than before. Source control integration. So we added a new source control menu inside the customization project. So for anyone doing customization and working with development team, this is very useful because it allows you to collaborate more easily when doing customization projects. So out of the box, we support Microsoft Team Foundation Server, but this system can be extended to other source control systems. So for anyone wondering what is source control, this allows you to check in your work and keep a detailed history of all the changes that were made, who made the changes, when they were made, and what was changed. So in case there were any accidental deletions or modifications made, you can easily recover from that. Finally, and this one I'm very happy to talk about it, is the fact that in Acumatica 4.11, every new feature is documented. So all the changes that were made to contracts and projects are properly explained and documented in the product. We have also redesigned and restructured documentation of some modules like AR, CRM, inventory, purchase order, and sales order to make them easier to use. We have a vastly improved developer and API documentation. And also all this documentation is also available in a PDF format. And finally, I invite you to visit the Acumatica University. We now have 47 courses online, and we are still working on adding new courses and improving our existing training material. But I think that it is a great progress since the last release.
Thanks for watching this presentation. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with me. My contact information is on screen right now.